وغطي عظامي بعشب تعمد من طهر كعبك، وشدي وثاقي بخصلة شعر بخيط يلوح في ليل ثوبك، عساني أصير ملاكا أصير إذا ما لمست قرارة قلبك. ضعيني إذا ما رجعت وقودا بتنور نارك، وحبل غسيل على سطح دارك، لأني فقدت الوقوف بدون صلاة نهارك. هربت فردي نجوم الطفولة حتى أشارك صغار العصافير درب الرجوع لعش انتظارك. أنا من هناك ولذكريات، ولدت كما يولد الناس، لي والدة وبيت كثير النوافذ، لي إخوة أصدقاء وسجن بنافذة باردة، ولي موجة خطفتها النوارس، لي مشهدي الخاص، لي عشبة زائدة، ولي قبر في أقاصي الكلام، ورزق طيوري وزيتونة خالدة. مررت على الأرض قبل مرور السيوف على جسد حولوه إلى مائدة. أنا من هناك أعيد السماء إلى أمها حين تبكي السماء على أمها، وأبكي لتعرفني غيبة عائدة. تعلمت كل كلام يليق بمحكمة الدم كي أكسر القاعدة. تعلمت كل كلام وفككته كي أركب مفردة واحدة هي الوطن. Thank you. So now I'm going to call the first group, the first 4 participants. 4 students? Yes, Ziad, Antama, and Yasser, and Yasmina or Khawla, one of you. Okay, so these poems, some of them we studied them in class. So we studied some of these poems, and some of them we studied and some of them we did not. So our event is open for surprises, so I'm gonna ask you sometimes, I will surprise you, but also you can discuss what we studied in class. So who's going to start? You tell me, introduce yourself, and you tell me which poem did you choose, which poem did you pick, and you talk about the analysis. So who's going to start?
Hello, I am happy to see you here. So my name is Ziad. I am 10 years old. I was born in 2015. My favorite sport is playing football, and in the future I want to be an engineer. So the 3 poems that I choose is My Mother, Think of Others, and I Belong There. I'm gonna start with Think of Others. He said to be thoughtful and be kind, and remember those who are in the camps, as like the activities that we do every day, like doing breakfast, having a shower, go out. He says to think of others. This poet says think of others again and again. He also used simple words, but they are a message.
Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Mohammed Taha Najab. I'm 16 years old and today I'm going to talk about transcendence, poet's poem that talks to us. This Mahmoud Darwish, my mother, which is in few lines talking about how our mother's love is just, it's not like a memory. Is more definition, such like when he says, "I long for my mother's bread." He don't like long for food. He misses her church. He misses her love. He misses Palestine. In in the poem, the mother is not just biologically, is the homeland, is the love, is all of the things. And last but not least, Mahmoud Darwish says that if you miss someone, just remember Mahmoud Darwish told us that even the distance doesn't matter because when you love someone, you love them by heart, not by the place they were. And that's all. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, my name is Yasser. I am 14 years old. Today I'm going to talk about two poems. The first one is I Come From There, and the second one is I Am an Arab. So I'm going to start with I Come From There. So in this poem, Mahmoud Darwish talks about his origins, his memories, his life with his family, his house, and everything that's related to him. And he embraces the importance of our background and how it makes us, how it makes the image of us today. And we can see that in Morocco, in every country. For example, in Europe, they have some cultures that they are built on, and they grow up and they are built on these cultures, and they become different than other countries because obviously other countries have got other cultures, and Mahmoud Darwish has put a lot of metaphors, but the one I like about of all of them in this poem is when he said, "I am a wave taken by seagulls." In this part, the wave means the house or his homeland, Palestine, and taken by seagulls means that the Israelis have taken his house, and have put him have taken him away from his family, from his friends, and that just makes us value our home more, value our country more, and to be proud to be Moroccan. And moving on to the second poem, which is I Am an Arab, it talks about how Mahmoud Darwish it talks about Mahmoud Darwish's family, his details about how many kids he has, and how and some general details about him. He is making himself clear that he is proud to be an Arab, and he even defies the Israelis that he will not give up. And in the poem he said that he had 9 children, so they could grow up and defy the Israelis. And we hope that the Palestinians win against the Israelis. And thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Yasmin Zoe. I'm 12 years old and I study at the 6th grade. And today I'm going to talk about two poems. So the first one is Think of Others. So in this poem, Mahmoud Darwish teaches us to care about others, especially those who don't have food, water, or even homes where to sleep. So when we're doing everyday activities, we need to remember those who don't have food to eat, or when we want to sleep, we need to remember those who don't have like a bed or a room where to sleep, and they sleep in streets. So in this poem, Mahmoud Darwish teaches us to be kind and helpful. And the second poem is My Mother. This poem is one of the touching poems of Mahmoud Darwish. He expressed his deep love for his mother, and he talks about missing her bread, her coffee, and her touch in everything. she was preparing for him. So he talks about how he misses her mother, and he so in this poem is remind us to love our mother, and to remind us also how special are our mothers. And thank you.
The second poem that I'm going to talk about is My Mother. So in this poem, he talks with an emotional way to send us a message. So his land was occupied by the Israeli occupation. He talks about the little things that his mom used to prepare as activities and the same routine. He also used coffee, bread, and a lot of things, not because they are nice, but he used them as symbols of his mother and used to prepare them. So he's talking about his deep love. And the third poem that I'm going to talk about is the I Belong From There. In this poem, he talks about that he loves his homeland, which is Palestine, and he's talking about the Israeli occupation, and he says that once upon a time, his land is not going to be occupied with the Israeli occupation.
Okay, so you notice in these poems that the mentioning of olive trees, and bread, coffee, what else? Birds. So these words, are they actual? Do they have a literal meaning, or are they symbols? So what do you think? Are they symbols of something bigger? Are they?
In my opinion, there are symbols because it describes his culture and the activities that his mom used to prepare.
Okay. So what does the olive tree symbolize?
The olive tree is symbolize of resistance and identity because
What does it symbolize?
the resistance
Resistance. Okay.
and which symbolize symbolize culture, and because the olive tree, if people do not care for it will care for itself, and the other things that such as birds fly all day, but in the end of the day they come back with joy, happiness, and all of the good things to the nest because they know they have they have an only place to love, they have only place to they have comfort in it and safety in the sun.
Yes. We're talking always about the symbols.
As I said previously, I said that these are just metaphors, whether it's bread, olive oil, or birds, etc. For me, I'm going to talk about birds. As we all know, birds migrate in winter to to places with heat. So they could find an environment where they can live, and then they come back, which means in this context, Mahmoud Darwish tries to say that he will eventually one day come back to his country and free it, and he promises as always in most of his poems that him or his degenerate or his descendants will one day free Palestine from from Israelis, as for the second one that I want to talk about, which is bread. Bread in this context symbolizes everything that is close to us, or everything that just passes in front of us normally. But when we lose it, it becomes more valuable. as Mahmoud Darwish said, he loves his mother's bread. I guess he said he loves his mother's bread, and it might seem normal at first because it's normal to eat your mother's bread. However, when you are missing your mother, you just remember this bread, and you just wish you could come back to these moments. And especially for Mahmoud Darwish's case, because he was kicked out from his country, from his homeland, and he could not even if he wanted, he could not try and come back just for for a brief moment, just to taste that bread or just to live that moment he lived in the past. And differently from us, that because some of us can migrate to other countries, maybe because of studying, maybe because of work, but but for most of us who still have their mothers, they can come back. However, for the ones that have lost their mothers, they will understand this feeling of how they are missing everything that's normal, everything that just passes normally, and how touching it is to just a piece of bread, as Muhammad Darwish said, just a piece of bread of his mother is very valuable for him now because obviously he's lost his mom. Thank you.
So, in my opinion, I think that olive trees is a symbolize homeland, strength, and peace. And mother is a symbol of mother is a symbol of love, safety, and comfort for Mahmoud Darwish. And I think that bread symbolize missing